Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy M.K.S here. Hope everyone's well. Obviously, I'm back at you with part two of my ideas and dreams and things like that for African software development and how to empower them in doing networking together. As many people as possible who want to see Africa progress, especially in software development. As I say, I'd love to have a network where all possible companies, organizations, individuals, and whatnot, especially Friends of Africa and Pan-Africanists and those sort of people and organizations and companies will work together to empower Africa's software developers. And as I mentioned in part one, I'd love to see as much empowerment of African software development as possible, including like Africa, perhaps, or African countries to develop, to create their own sort of Microsoft and Oracle and companies like that, IBM, one to service or look after each other for their own businesses internally within Africa or even within their own country, and then also others for like to spread internationally. So in the past, like Africa was seen as like a backwards continent or a dark continent. So it'd be great if like the role was reversed and they managed to not that I'd want other people to suffer either, but that they managed to transport their technology around the world and things like that. And I love countries like within Asia and the rest of the world to like India and places like that to help African software development, so and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with the list. Yeah, here goes. So number 11 again, I hope to change perceptions of Africa, especially through tech, but and through inventions and things like that, support their inventors, inventions and other sort of projects. I know that like sometimes old views or ignorance or narrow-mindedness, if you like, changes. It's hard to change. So in a way, it's hard to imagine people changing their views about Africa, but you never know. Like some people might, even if you can change one or two people's views, it might be a step in the right direction. So anyway, as I say, I'd love to empower Africa generally, especially in software development, and general tech and inventions and things like that. And what I call the four, which I mentioned before, I'd love them to help African software developers, like Native Americans and people like that, people from Asia helping, and Aborigines and Maoris and people like that helping African software. And in return, Africa helping them in other projects or other areas. But yeah, so it'd be great to see also like more startups and SMEs and big companies as well across Africa developing their tech. And maybe it can make up for like things like apartheid or things that happen in history, which I hope to come to. And number 12 again, like hashtag mentor for African tech could be like people within Africa and the diaspora and people from other backgrounds as well, especially people of color, but also other groups going to different parts of Africa, and like training people and Africans to train each other in technology. So as many people from Africa as possible learn about software development. And again, I'd love to see as many African women leaders, especially in software development and things like that. Like I talked before about what if the next Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or Larry Ellison or Steve Jobs, I know he's not on with us, but what if people like that, i.e. the tech titans or software developers, the main software developers, were people from Africa, not just people from Africa, but also like women from Africa. And I think one of the main things is to train young people like in Andela and organizations like that. Andela's the only one I've really heard of, but they take on people who already have those skills. But I think it'd be great if they could start from such a young age, and maybe even like old keyboards or things like that that no longer work could be sent to parts of Africa where young boys and girls could learn how to use the keys and learn about where different keys are. So when they're older, hopefully that will help their strengths and their skills in technology. And also it'd be great, I think, if African countries could in the future, obviously when people can travel and things like hopefully in the future, could host events, which I know I've talked a bit about in the past, but host events such as neurodiversity in tech and things like that. So invite people from all around the world, like autistic and dyslexic people, to learn about tech in Africa, and also like show what strengths they have, mainly for people in Africa, what they could teach and things like that. So that they could host conferences about neurodiversity in in the tech sector in Africa and across Africa. Number 13, I suppose like a lot of time I try and cross the bridge before it's been built, so to speak. So I always want things to be done so quickly, and I'm not always the best at taking action. But I think hopefully I'm getting better over, or have been getting better over time. And I know it's going to take a while, and there's lots of challenges, but hopefully we can work on those challenges, which I hope to come to. On that note, number 14, I hope that Africa can also work with other countries and continents and places where, like Asia as well, where they can work on solving problems together. And I know it's a challenge. Like when I want to help people in Asia and the Native American communities, I'd like to talk about non-tech related startups, because all the tech stuff I want to do for Africa. Again, like they could have some sort of negotiation where Africans could help Asia politically, or in terms of non-tech related startups, and in return, Asian nations could help Africa in terms of software development. And countries like Japan, which I forgot to mention before, could through TICAD, the Japanese partnership with, I forgot what the acronym stands for, but through that partnership they could train people across Africa in terms of game making, which I think would be really cool to see Africa leading game making as well. 15, yeah, I'd love to work on those ideas, and again come up with new ideas and work on those goals as much as possible. Like hopefully in August, every Saturday and Sunday, hopefully I'll do at least a little bit towards the development of African software, and hopefully like African governments and people like that, as many companies and organizations, NGOs and so forth, will help African software to develop and invest money like through tourism and other things into African software development and things like that. Number 16, again, I'd love to hear different people's ideas about what are the best ways to help African software. I think it's great to work as part of teams and things like that, or part of a team. But I can understand like some people saying that different voices can get in each other's way. So when people have different directions they want to go in, but I think that it would be really cool to like sort of share ideas and agree to come up with something some things which will perhaps test some ideas and see what the best ideas are for helping African software. And again, I'd love to hear people's suggestions as ever from around the world about how to benefit African software. Number 17, again, hope to use like my imagination, and people from Africa to use their imagination, and as many people as possible, again, charities, organizations, NGOs, and so forth, working together to use imagination and ideas and creativity to help Africa to become hopefully as good as possible at software development, maybe even become the lead continent, which I think would be a really positive thing because of the history of what they've gone through, especially countries like South Africa with apartheid, but also all of Africa really, with being colonized and put down and things like that. So I think it'd be great for Africans to show they are hardworking and they are driven and intelligent and things like that. And so yeah, I think it'd be great to develop those strengths, and again, different sectors or industries working with the tech sector to develop software development, which can solve problems in other areas as well. 18, hopefully, I'll be positive and people will believe in Africa and show that Africa can lead the way in software development. 19, again, I hope like India and other countries like that, and other parts of Asia, and other parts even of Europe and the Americas will help Africa to become as good as possible, as I say, preferably leader in tech in software, especially by 2030 or even before that, preferably as soon as possible, let's say. And number 20, again, older people can pass their skills and knowledge on to younger people, and possibly vice versa as well, where as many people from Africa teaching each other as possible. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, so as ever, I'd love to know what you think and what would be the least and most favourite parts of this video, or of my ideas, and what ideas do you have for developing African software. And that covers everything. So as ever, I welcome any of your comments, questions, queries, or anything else, and I'm out. Peace and out.